Amy and Ella Meek are two sisters that have been on a journey to rid the world of plastic pollution since a very young age. The sisters founded multi-award winning Kids Against Plastic when they were just 11 and 9 years old, respectively. Now 21 and 19, they're still very much driving the organisation with the support of the KAP Development Team, and that's to ensure that the initiative continues to be youth-led. And they're joining me today. Welcome, ladies. It's so nice to see you again.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Great to
really,
speak.
really great. Well, look, let's get straight into the content because there's a lot. You guys have been up to so much even since I last spoke to you. So we'll start with the first question, which is Amy and Ella, it's been 9 years since you founded Kids Against Plastic. How does it feel to have an organisation that's almost a decade old?
It's honestly so insane. I mean, we started it when we were so young, and now we're adults, which is still scary to say, and at university. But it just feels like we've come a long way with the charity, and not just in ourselves, because really the progress that we've seen in the charity is that it's shifting away from being about us and our campaigning, and more onto involving more of the youth and empowering more young children, getting schools involved. That's what we really wanted to see with the charity. So it's been such a long time, but that progress has kind of shifted away from us in the way that we exactly wanted it to. And it's been an amazing journey.
Yeah, really beautiful. And seeing it grow within the schools has been absolutely fantastic. And like you said, it's about getting everybody else involved, not just you as a charity. And I know on that note, I know that you two personally, from the last time we spoke, have picked up a phenomenal amount of plastic litter just between you. But your 1 million pickup campaign, which I checked just before this interview, by the way, and it's gone up to 876,631 pieces, which is 256 more than it was 2 days ago when I checked it, which is amazing. So tell us about the campaign, and also for those that are unaware of it, how they can get involved and contribute.
Absolutely. So the 1 million pickup campaign is one that we're running alongside one of the youth members of the charity. So we're very keen, like Hella was saying, the charity is really about uplifting young people and young, especially children, in the things that they care about, the issues that they want to make a difference on. And this campaign in particular is being spearheaded by one of our members in Spain, who is 11 years old. And she was really passionate about wanting to remove plastic from the environment. She used to do a school run litter pick every time she walked to school with her parents. It's just making such a massive difference in her local community. And through the campaign, essentially wants to try and amplify the amount of litter picked up, but also really try and raise awareness about the international picture of litter and how everyone can really get involved in tackling that. So as part of the campaign, we have on the website the map that you will have seen, which is where we have this rolling total of the amount of litter that's collected. And the way that we track that is that essentially people do a litter pick. They then use our litter logging app that we've developed with Esri, the mapping agency, and they can log each bit of litter that they collect as they go along, and then they can add their location that they did the collection, and it will appear on our sort of global map of litter picks. And then that total amount is the one that you see on the map there as well. And so 1 million is the target. Ali did want to get it completed by her 11th birthday last year, which was a target we were really trying to get towards, but 1 million is a lot of pieces of plastic. But we're getting there slowly. Well, not slowly, actually, quickly. And each week on the meetings that we have with the kids in the Kids Against Plastic Club that we run, we do sort of a rolling total of the amount of litter that's been collected. And it's really nice to see so many of them getting involved as well and doing their own litter picks. So yeah, if anyone that is listening or reading this wants to get involved in the campaign, you can go to our website, and it's on Ali's map that you can see the litter that's been collected already, and from there you can see how to access the app and log your own litter picks yourself as well.
Beautiful. And I'm going to include the link, all the links. There will be a lot of links in this article, particularly, but it's really great. And what I love about that as well is, when you come up with these campaigns and wow, my goodness me, another really incredible young person that's doing amazing things. keeping that momentum going, you know, so that people are continuing to do it can be quite tricky. So the fact that it still is building and building is incredible. It's really incredible. Speaking of building and building, your Plastic Clever Schools initiative has been going for quite some time and has been really incredibly successful over the years. I've been watching it grow and grow. But you have now launched the Climate Clever Schools, which go alongside that. How does that work and how do the two things differ?
Well, the scheme follows a really similar step-by-step process of involving the schools, which is all about, first of all, learning about the problems, so both plastic pollution for Plastic Clever and climate change for Climate Clever. And then it's all about investigating the problems within your own specific school. And the final stage is acting on those and making those changes. And also, like Plastic Clever, we provide all of these resources and all the support a school might need in going through this journey. And one of the hardest parts is identifying the problems within your school, especially for problems like climate change. So we really support schools through that journey. But, you know, Plastic Clever and Climate Clever are just so interlinked because plastic pollution and climate change are so interlinked as problems as well. And that's why the schemes really do work. And we've seen schools doing both of them, which is really great to see. But yeah, so it was amazing to see the success of being Plastic Clever and being able to launch the Climate Clever journey as well, just so that we can try and have as much spread across these problems as possible, because they're such massive issues that especially young people have such anxiety around. So to be able to implement two schemes for schools potentially to get involved in, it is really great, and hopefully something amazing for the kids to get involved in and start their own journeys.
Yeah, amazing. And I think that, you know, that's one of the things I've really noticed about young voices is that, you know, my generation and above, there's a lot of talk about what needs to be done. But I think when it comes to young people, they're really demanding the action. And that's what your campaigns are doing. It's not the what, because we know what the what is, right? We know what the issues are. It's about the how. How do we do something about it? And how do we make that change happen? So that's really exciting. And in addition to that, there's obviously the KAP campaign that you've got going, which is really amazing because I've seen for years and years the plastic tat in magazines. You know, having had both two small children, you go and buy the magazines and there's loads of plastic things in there that last for 2 minutes. They hold attention for 2 minutes, if that, and then they go away. So KAP is about combating that. And it's now led to setting up the Sustainability Roundtable with UK publishers that you're a part of. So tell us more about all of that.
Yeah, so KAP's Hat has been running for a couple of years now. It was again with another young person part of the charity, Sky Neville, who people might have heard of. She's been in the news a couple of times around the campaign, and then we got involved and supported her with sort of where to go next with it. So she started a petition which had an amazing number of signatures, but wasn't really getting much back from supermarkets. She got Waitrose to get involved, and they agreed to stop selling magazines with plastic on the front of them. But it's very hard to drive change in the publishing industry and in the retail sector. It takes a lot of time and effort, and she did an amazing job. And we went, look, how can we support you with this? And so that's where KAP kind of came about. And through the campaign, we were especially targeting supermarkets to try and get them to be the ones that stopped, you know, magazines from being sold in the supermarkets that had these cheap plastic cover mounts, to try and drive the publishing industry to change and be more sustainable around this. And as part of that, Sky was obviously doing an amazing job spearheading the campaign and raising awareness about it. And we also supported her through developing some letter writing tools to get schools and young people involved in the campaign as well. So we had hundreds and hundreds of school kids around the UK writing these amazing letters to UK supermarket CEOs, in particular Ken Murphy, who was the CEO of Tesco, who was sort of the primary person we were writing to at the time. And so yeah, we had these amazing letters written, some of which had posters with them as well that kids had drawn of Ken Murphy, for example, like throwing a plastic bottle in the ocean, all of these sort of amazingly creative things that the kids were putting together. And then we posted a letter to the supermarket HQs every single day for, I think it was well over 100 days in a row. And from that, we managed to get some meetings with supermarkets. So the first one with Tesco, which didn't really accomplish a huge amount, so we kept going. And then with Morrison's and a few of the members of the publishing industry at that as well a few months later. And from that, actually, it was great to start a dialogue with the publishing industry. And there's now been this sustainability roundtable set up, which is members of the industry and members of Kids Against Plastic. So not only me and Ella, actually trying to get some of these young people, some of the recipients of these kind of magazines, or maybe just come out of the age range of getting these magazines, getting them to sit down at a table with these members of the publishing industry and really tell them how they feel and tell them what they would want to see on a magazine. And it's not about, you know, trying to ruin kids' fun with magazines. It's not about trying to get rid of toys. It's about essentially trying to make sure that when kids do get these toys, if it's the only toy that they get, for example, for a long time, how do we make that something that's long lasting, something that's actually got good play value, something that's sustainable, and actually make it something that adds value properly to a magazine and isn't just sort of like a 5-second attraction to try and get it off the shelves. So it's been great to have some meetings so far, and hopefully that will continue into the future.
Oh, that's amazing. So everybody will now be looking at their supermarket shelves when they go in to go, all right, let's see where the action's been taken. And then maybe we can all start to hold them accountable, because it's like you say, it's not about trying to spoil the fun. Actually, if anything, we can educate children from a really young age that plastic isn't great, and that actually having something that's got more longevity to it, you know, that it's a simple swap really in terms of, you know, just that one change could have such a lasting impact. So absolutely brilliant. Again, another campaign that's going really, really well and really successful. But in addition to that and everything that's already mentioned, and much, much more that of course we won't have time to cover just today, you've recently, in the last couple of years, launched Action Academy, which is focused on empowering young people. How does it work, and how can people access that?
The Action Academy is something that we've been thinking about for like a couple of years now, like you said, and it essentially came about from having so many young people, including ourselves when we started our journey through the charity, wanting to do something about an issue that they cared about, but feeling like they sort of lacked some of the confidences or the skills to really make their voices heard around some of these issues. Because it is scary to stand up in front of your peers, especially, or to stand up in front of adults or large rooms of people and talk about something that is really meaningful to you. Never mind, you know, how to communicate online or how to communicate through letters to MPs or to head teachers. It's quite daunting when you're a young person who's kind of just starting your journey and just wants to do something but doesn't really know where to start. So the Action Academy is essentially it's kind of, I hate calling it like an online sort of training program because it sounds incredibly boring, but essentially it's trying to give some tools to young people to start to develop those key skills. So it has 3 areas that it covers in particular, which is public speaking, writing, and video making. And it's delivered through videos which are presented by me and Ella, featuring some other sort of youth activists who have had their own journeys into making a difference. And then also contextualizing the positives and the impact that youth social action can have, not only for young people that get involved in it, but also for communities and society more widely that they work with. And so it's, you know, as with everything we do, it's completely free. It's accessible through our website, and in particular, it's aimed at kids who are part of the Kids Against Plastic Club that we run, but you can also just access the Action Academy itself if you are a young person who wants to just do the programme and not actually join up with the club that we run through the charity. And so we really hope that it's something that will be a useful tool for kids that were in the position that we were 9 years ago and wanting to do something. And it's amazing to see the kids that are already working through it and have completed it, and the things that they're uploading as their evidence pieces, the presentations they're doing, the videos they're making. It's so inspiring, and hopefully it will continue to be something that's used.
I'm sure it will. I can't imagine anything that either of you two being called boring, by the way, just so you know. But also, I suppose it's an exciting toolkit for people that just don't know where to start with what they're doing, because actually you've been through that process, the pair of you together, and actually through going through your own process, it's meant that you've created something that is already existing. It's a bit of the why invent the wheel, why reinvent the wheel? If it's there and it can be used, then it's something that people can really access, which is really exciting. And I'm really delighted to hear that there's videos of people that have utilised the toolkits and can really demonstrate the success they've had from that, because it's another layer of inspiration for people that are going and maybe a little bit apprehensive or nervous about getting involved with that. So really, really, really exciting. Oh my goodness, ladies, there's so much that you've done and so much that you're doing, and the impact of the work that you've done so far is phenomenal already. How much you've accomplished over the last 9 years together is demonstrative of how close you are as sisters, you know, and watching that has been really beautiful. But what does the future hold for you both together? And obviously you're going on your separate journeys now in terms of your education. What does it hold for you separately as well?
I mean, that's one of those questions that at our age is still very scary. So, no, we are both studying our respective courses at our respective universities, but we're still very close as sisters, which is really nice to see. And the distance hasn't changed that either, which is lovely. But I think for our separate journeys, as much as we are going to go off and use our courses or go into different jobs, maybe, we're definitely not leaving the charity behind. I think it's kind of impossible to do when we've been working on it together for so long. It's fully a part of our life now, which is amazing. And as much as the aim of our charity is going to be to pass on a lot of these roles to younger children to get involved in and flourish in their own ways, it doesn't mean that we're going to be leaving it behind completely. Absolutely not. And we still want to stay as involved as we're allowed to be in a charity that's called Kids Against Plastic, and we are technically adults. But no, we're going to have to see where our separate journeys go. But who knows what the future holds for that? But we definitely know that it will be somewhat related to Kids Against Plastic and youth empowerment and the environment in some ways.
Amazing. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that grows. But I suppose, you know, you've got seeds of youth that are growing up beneath you, and you can be there to guide them and help them to find their feet in terms of taking Kids Against Plastic even further than maybe even you'd imagined in the future. So really, really exciting. And as always, I'm always going to be watching on to see where you both go next and what you do next, and see if there's ways that we can support and work together. So thanks so much, ladies, for being with us today. Really excited to share the links of all of the different things that we've covered in the interview today, because I know that there will be a lot of interest and a lot of people that will want to click through and find out more. So thanks very much for coming and having the interview with me today.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.